All right, guys, we have ourselves turned around, and we've got to get back up that gnarly crap we just came down. So let's get her done. We are in four-wheel drive, low range, and that is pretty steep. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let's see, the elevation change is 400 feet. So that's a 400-foot climb right there. So here we go. And so far so good. It looks like it's going to be the gnarliest at the top right there. So I'm just going to try and keep my momentum and you know, go up the same way I came down, and that's you know, sucking right by this cholla cactus, and we are good to go, I think. Okay, so that's that one, and then here comes the next one. I can't remember if there were three. I do believe there are three of these. All right, so kind of keeping along the same kind of situation, doing the exact same thing. Real loose rocks down here in the bottom. I can feel the tires spinning, and then right up here we're gonna have to choose a path, and I'm gonna go down the middle. Woo! Okay, and I'm gonna go over to the right. Okay, that wasn't too bad. We got one more to go, guys, I think, and then we will be home free here. All right. Okay, this one might be the steepest of all. Yeah, this very well might be the steepest one. Okay. I'm going to keep the RPM up. And it looks like we're going to kind of zigzag a little bit here. These rocks are really loose. The tires are spinning and grabbing, kind of pulling my arms a little bit. Okay, this thing climbs like a damn billy goat though, doesn't it? Wow. Okay, there we go. I think we're out of the woods now, boys. All right, I'll turn it back on when we get back to the junction, which should be just right up there. Talk to you in a minute. Alright, guys, I just came to the junction. I'm at the junction. Just came across a guy in one of those 50-inch razors, and he's going down that way. I just turned around. I wish I could have had the social skills to kind of talk to him or whatever, and maybe you know, kind of join up and ride with him, but that's one thing I lack. So I'm not sure if that dude's going to turn around or not. It'd be interesting to know, because everything's cool. Well, not cool. I mean, it's still pretty gnarly. Everything's halfway decent until you get to the third hill, and you can see the crest. You got, you know, he's right there, and then when he gets up that one right there, that'll be the first one. Then there's two more. Then when he gets to the last one, it'd be interesting to know if he actually went down it. But let's just go this way and see if this path down to the lake is any better. Because would have loved to have known if that guy got to that hill that I turned around on and he went. You know, side-by-sides, they kind of, you know, they do some things better than an ATV, and sometimes they do things worse than an ATV. You know, it just kind of depends. But one of the things I think they do better than an ATV is they seem to do better on you know, steep downhills, as far as, you know, when they're rutted and stuff like that. Like I've seen guys in UTVs just kind of just go down those, you know, without even thinking about it much. And on an ATV, it's just there's a lot more to think about as far as when you're going down a hill, man, because you can't go past a certain degree of tilt or you're in problem, and you definitely want to avoid all off-camber situations on a steep downhill. I mean, those are the two things that I'm looking for when I come across a crazy downhill like that. I'm looking for a path that keeps me straight up and down. As far as off camber, you know, side to side, I do not want any side to side if possible. And I don't want to dip the nose, you know, farther than it's, you know, comfortable to dip the nose, especially for long periods of time, you know, because on a downhill on an ATV, you're holding up your entire weight, you know. It just seems like on an uphill, it's less fatiguing for me on a quad. You know, I don't have very much experience with a UTV, so I just don't know, you know, their full capability. You know, I don't know what they really can do and what they can't do. I mean, with a 50-inch side by side, you would think that you'd still want to, you know, kind of traverse, you know, things in a similar way, but they are much longer. Yeah, a 50-inch side by side is still much longer than an ATV. Although this one is 8 inches longer than a normal ATV. That's what I've been told. It does seem that it's more than that, but it's like 8 inches longer, so I do get more front to back stability with it, but it still feels, you know, pretty gnarly. Still feels scary. I know that it's harder to get this one to tip over front to back, but it doesn't, you know, it still feels the same. All right, are we gonna make it to the lake? I'm not sure. I would just like to make it to one of the coves and kind of kick back and eat my lunch. It's kind of what I was hoping happens here. I just don't know if we're gonna make it. As long as we don't get faced with something super gnarly. Uh-oh, this is kind of meeting that requirement in it. Definitely off to the left right there, it sure the hell is. I don't know if that's better straight or not, but let's find out what happens here. This is bad, and it's against my better judgment, but I think it looks worse than it is right here. And as long as we don't slide down to the left, we can get this thing turned. See, we're gonna go off camber right here. Yeah, this is going to go off camber right here, so I'm going to get past it real quick. Now going down that right there is, well, that's really steep. So let's go down this way and hope that this is the worst of this. Okay, that was super hairy. That was definitely super hairy. Now I'm back on the trail right here. Holy smokes, man, get a load of that, would you? That is yowza yowza.